So this is not exactly the video that I've been looking to make or do. It's been a very tough week. It's actually a week to the day that my friend Carlos, Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, passed away. And I've been thinking what I could do, what I could say. In circumstances like this, there isn't too much you could do or say. My condolences go out to his family, his friends, which I am one of, especially Stephen and his family, because I know he was very close with them, and I know that they spent a lot of time together, not just fragrance related stuff, but also like a family and a really good friendship. And I joined this community about 2.5 years ago. I met Carlos about 2 years ago, and from the point we met, we hit it off, became friends. I got his number, we exchanged numbers, we would talk, we would text message, we would see each other at events, we would be invited to almost some of the similar events at some perfume houses and Saks Fifth Avenue and so on and so forth, and we meet each other there. And then I had the opportunity one day to be invited by him, go pick him up at his place. We went to Steven's house, spent the whole day out there with Steven, his family. Kubano came and Gary came, and it was just a great day. It was one of those days that for as long as I'm doing this and as long as I'm into doing videos or anything related to fragrances, I'll always remember that day. Just to see them in action, I learned a lot. To see how easy they just get on camera and do their thing. I mean, for me, it's still very awkward, and I've gotten a little more comfortable, but I'm still very awkward to some degree. And it's just a great memory. And the last time I saw Carlos was at his house. I went over there to put a chair together for him for his desk. And we sat there and just talked about life, things, new fragrances he came in. Was so excited always to be like, here, check this one out. Here, smell this. Here, you want to see this one. So, it's just a good memory. And I have a lot of good memories when it comes to Carlos. I'd say he was a really good friend. And it's sad that I'm not going to get to build on that friendship because he's no longer with us. I was looking forward to finally, when this whole COVID thing gets a little bit more relaxed and we can get back to going to events and doing things, that we'd be able to do more things together and see each other and have great times, break bread together, because we did that a couple of times, and it's always, always great and always entertaining. Just really quick, I'm wearing this t-shirt. There's a quick Carlos story on that too. So I go on his store, I wanted to support the channel and support him as my friend, and I go for the t-shirt, and it said, the one he had up on the site said Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, like this, but then underneath it said short and sweet. So I text message him and I ask him, do you have one that doesn't say short and sweet? So after a little back and forth, and he was like kind of like getting upset that I was, like, why don't you want the one with short and sweet on it? And then he just stops texting me. About a minute later, I get a text with the link to go get this shirt without the short and sweet. And now I think if you go to the store now, this shirt's still there. And these are the kind of gestures that Carlos was the type of person, it's almost like he got miffed, he got annoyed, but he would always still do that extra special thing for you, and I feel when I wear the shirt from now on, and I'll cherish the shirt for as long as I can keep it in good shape and it doesn't get ruined, and I get to wear it always in remembrance of Carlos and the fact that he actually put it back up on the site without the short and sweet just for me. And that's a precious thing to remember. So what I'm going to do here in the style or try to be in the style of a review that Steven from Red Adolescence would do, or the format that he kind of does things, I'm going to give you a review of Carlos. So, today we're going to be talking about Carlos J. Powell, Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. Let's start with the presentation. When it comes to presentation, Carlos, as you well know, his outfits were always energetic, vibrant, always having something in relation to BFL or something representing Brooklyn, because he was proud of being the Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. He was proud of where he lived and proud of being a part of Brooklyn. You know, when you saw Carlos at an event, he was always the standout guy. He always had something on that maybe nobody else would even dare to wear. It was something that represented who Carlos was. So as far as presentation is concerned, Carlos is bar none. Now, let's go on to the smell. I know that sounds kind of funny when you're going to talk about somebody's smell, but the one biggest standout for me with him that comes to scent is Scent Explore 2019. If you didn't notice Carlos's fragrance, which was Tom Ford Amber Absolute for that night, and you didn't smell it on him, I would be shocked. He was filling the room, and it was a pretty big room. If you rode the elevator with him, it was all Amber Absolute in that elevator. Carlos will definitely always be, and always has been, while he's been doing this, probably one of the best smelling guys in the room, if not the best smelling guy in the room. So as far as scent is concerned, he gets top grades. Performance. As far as performance is concerned, Carlos put out over 1,000 videos on his channel. Was always very consistent, except for the times that where he may have had some issues with his health or something was slowing him down. But very consistent. You'd get multiple videos a week. He'd be on top of all the new releases as quickly as possible. He just gave you such energy and such hype, and not creating hype, but he would get you hyped because of his energy and because of who he was and how he would review his fragrances. And is always short and sweet. But you know what? It was always interesting. And that's without all the editing tricks and all the little fancy stuff that some people do with videos. Carlos would just get on camera, rip it with his infectious smile, make you want to buy a fragrance just based on that quick, short and sweet review that he gave on it. So as far as performance, Carlos was definitely a performer and top notch. My overall assessment. If you knew Carlos, he definitely would have made an impact on your life, whether it was directly or indirectly. I had the fortunate opportunities to be with him in person, to be a good friend, to talk to him on the phone, to be connected to him, to go to his house, experience that, you know, smelling the mods of the Red Brook fragrance, going to all these launch events where he was so happy, and seeing how happy he was at Scent Explore because all the love he was getting at Scent Explore 2019. You know, Carlos loved his community, he loved his fragrances, and he loved the people around him. If you were in his circle, you were there for a reason. And I thank you, my friend, for making me be part of that circle. I'm going to miss you. But I'll never forget you. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. It was hard for me to put this video together. It's hard for me to come up with what I was going to say. I did freestyle all of it. There's no script. So to all the fragrance community who loved and cared for Carlos, let's all honor him the best way we can. Until the next time. Short and sweet like he always did.